when people really look at like ranked for what it's made for. You matching up with other people who are trying to get the same rank as you. But who's gonna get it first? So I want to talk about the importance of ranked, but not that it but I also want to say how it's not everything. Something that I think people are still kind of adjusting to is the fact that yeah, ranked still has its pluggers and like cheaters and stuff, but that if you look at ranked at its core and how it's changed and how hard it is to get like certain ranks, like once you get to like true Tekken God or like Tekken God Prime, even that was harder. And Tekken God Omega, like they make you sweat and they make you work for it. You fight for your life, especially if it's somebody who's testing you and you have like 3 chances before you lose 5,000 points. I've always said like I go to ranked and I talk about ranked because you're playing for something on the line. And I think that really helps because when you play in tournaments, you're also playing for something on the line. And I think people need to kind of like understand that like if ranked is what you make of it. And I personally feel like because achieving these higher ranks means that you're, beating people, you're adjusting, you're adapting, it's teaching you high level techniques that you can use in tournament. And I definitely think that's something that people can learn a lot from. I think how it transitions to offline play is, like I said, like the fact that you have to adjust. You have to have stamina. When you're at offline tournaments, you play for something on the line. Being stale and being predictable is also a huge one. Yes. Because, right, think about it. You're playing hella games, right? Against probably maybe the same person. And, the person starts to pick up on how you're playing. So it's like, how do you adapt? How do you change? How do you not burn out? And I think at the core, learning how to do that in ranked can really translate to offline, because it kind of really, to me, it kind of goes hand in hand. The adapting, the stamina, not getting predictable, playing for something on the line, all of that. When people really look at like ranked for what it's made for, you matching up with other people who are trying to get the same rank as you, but who's gonna get it first? And I think one of like the biggest things is definitely burnout. It's really easy to get burnout on games if you're not used to playing long sets. This right here will force you to play long sets. I was so tired by the end of this. I had just played in a tournament. Look at my face. I was tired and I literally still grinded on it, right? And there's so many times where it wasn't ranked, but it was other stuff. It was me playing long sets in general and still being tired. The whole thing about the journey was like I played a couple different people to get to it. There were definitely like at least 2 or 3 times where I was like, man, they're about to take me to 5,000. Like I'm gonna lose my 5,000. But I was like, no, I cannot give up. You don't have to keep on playing to play. For example, like I reached Tekken God Prime a very long time ago, when ranked was like on and popping in the earlier seasons. And at some point, like you play, and you're like, you get there, and you're like, cool, and that's fun. But then at that point, I was like, I would revisit ranked and I would play with my characters. But then I started to mess around with other characters to get them to that rank too. Cause like, it's cool, but you run across the same people all the time. But with the way that it is now, I think at some point ranked will kind of die out because people still aren't willing to practice. They still aren't willing to train. They'd rather cheat. But that's not everybody. You'll find a lot of strong players there. And I definitely found a lot, especially when I was Tekken God Prime, and I've been Tekken God Prime for like a year, and I was still finding people at that rank. And I was going in with them, like, fighting really good sets. I think ranked has its importance. It's not everything, but it will teach you what I did state earlier. The road to getting it, and I think I'm the first US one. Well, that's what I've been told multiple times now. It's cool to achieve that kind of stuff because it's fun, right? And it's hard, and it's like, and I'm Elisa, and that's one of my mains, and it's exciting because you're like, man, this new rank system is hard. Man, do I feel like I'm training like Rocky. It's fun. I'm glad I got to do it, and will continue to do it with my other characters. As long as ranked is still up and kicking, like that, I'll keep doing it. because it really tests your stamina. And I think that really matters a lot. I think that there's still a lot of like good in it because it's new, and because they adjusted the system, it makes you work harder for your, for what you're doing. Thank you so much, everyone, for being super supportive of that. I think as long as you keep at it, and if you want to get this rank, there's nothing wrong with getting this rank. It's definitely a lot to work for, and it'll make you feel good when you get it. But don't stop there, right? If you have more than one character, definitely try that out in rank 2. Don't get discouraged is another thing. Trust me, when I first started, I was losing to everything. When I started in Tekken Tag, like ranked, I literally lost to every single like type of character. Like it was so hard because you had to learn like 60 matchups, and it's like, God, this is buns. But like you don't think about it at the time because you're like, I just want to get good, and never give up on that. Just keep it up. And like, right, like demotions don't mean that you are bad, okay? Like don't assume that you're like a bad player. Yeah, that's what I think about the ranked grind, and definitely was glad to talk about my ranked grind to get to Tekken God Omega. I believe I was the first US one, and I did it on PC, and I did it with Elisa. I love my character.